Hey buddy, it's Peter, and this is the Segway AT5. I've owned the AT6 in the past, and this is different and it's interesting. So Segway goes about making their products in a little different way. They look at things a little differently. They offer a lot of value, but they also offer some interesting tech pieces on this, especially for the price. So I'm filming here at Yard Gear, soon to be known as YG Power Sports, at least for the Power Sports division. They have a whole bunch of Power Sports here, so it's worth checking out. If you're anywhere in Fredericton, New Brunswick, or near there in New Brunswick area, you gotta check them out to see this kind of stuff. In this review, there's some questions I have about minor differences in the specs. We're going to talk about that in a second, but we're going to go over this in practical detail to show you a lot of things that the spec sheet doesn't show you. You may have questions when you're done, because I still have questions that I want to know about this, but I want to know what you want to know, so that when I come back to this again, we can cover some of the things that I don't have the best information for now, or that I can just show you again in the future. So let's get going with this review. So Segway offers a feature-full product, no matter what one you get, whether it's the the ATV, side-by-sides, whatever it is. But they also have pretty poor websites, and I'll just start with saying this thing is a 499cc single cylinder that makes either 39 or 38 horsepower. They're both listed on the same section of the website. I don't know that that makes a huge difference to people. It also goes either 95 kilometers an hour or 100 kilometers an hour. That's also listed in the same side of the website. So there are some issues I have with the website, which is why I don't trust everything I read. What I will say though is, like I said, they are feature full. I've owned a Segway AT6 in the past. This AT5 is much more compact than the one that I've owned, and it has some different features and some of the familiar stuff. So first thing you're gonna notice, if we just turn on the key here, hopefully we can get those lights up front. Yeah, you'll notice LED kind of lighting around front here, and you also have, those are your marker lights, you also have your headlights here, which can be set to different levels of setting, and because I haven't played with it and looked at it, I don't know if you can see them well on the camera there. I'm looking as my watch as a viewfinder. We have quality ATV lights here that are LED, very automotive style. Even the controls are very much automotive style. You have mirrors. You also have things like signals here, which I can hopefully see on the front there. Yeah, you should be able to see them there. So you have all kinds of things that you don't see on typical ATVs, all standard on this. The other thing you have is probably one of the best apps in the automotive industry. I'm trying to keep my jacket here from touching my watch and zooming in on the camera. But the app on this thing allows you to sort of geofence in an area where you can't start it. It'd be one example is a theft-proof type thing. It allows you to change the power steering mode, so you can change it to one of 3 different levels there. It also allows you to, and this is what I found most helpful, to actually start the vehicle without the key. So a lot of time I'd be in my garage or around my yard, and I want to do something just around the yard, do some work or whatever, and I'd have the key for this inside my house. Well, I just have my phone on me, use the app on the phone, start it up, and again, next to the Tesla app, this thing is probably one of the best apps in the automotive industry. It works very quickly, works very well, and again, you could use your cell phone as the key out in the woods. I just don't know that I would trust that, because maybe your cell phone loses signal, or you drop your cell phone in the water and it's in trouble. There's a lot of reasons why I wouldn't do that. I would take the key. But certainly around your house and that kind of thing, super helpful. Just pull out the app, move the thing around, do your thing, put it back in. Really great. So let's show you some of the practical benefits of this. Out front, almost 8 inch, or just over, 7.1 inches of ground clear, or 7.1 inches of travel in the suspension. Out back, 7.9 inches of travel. So you've got pretty good suspension, and it's a fairly compact unit. Let's show you what it looks like with me on it, about a 6-footer, and then we'll take a look around this thing as well. All right, taking a look at me on here, one thing you're gonna notice, it is a lot more compact. One thing I don't love is the gear shift is just kind of touching my knee. I'm a 6-footer, but again, you can move around on this quite easily. You've got a lot of room, but it's more compact. You feel like you can move this thing around compared to the AT6, which feels much bigger, much heavier. So this thing's pretty cool in that it's very compact, but again, loaded with technology. The mirrors are kind of cool because, like I said, you have signals and everything else. So if you head out on the road to get to the trail, you've got a very motorcycle kind of like feel to this thing. But I also want to show you the dash here. We're going to start it up and allow it to run as we pull you into the dash. All right, so as we approach this here, I want to show you the fuel fill is at the back of this vehicle, and the other one, it was at the front on the AT6 here. And I believe the gear shift is on the opposite side. It was on this side on the AT6, it's on this side on the AT5. Here are your controls here. You've got the headlight switches there, so the arrow sort of aligns with your high beam, your low beam, off, and then sort of the marker lights there. And then you also have the, which off is a nice feature to have. It can take all the lights off if you're out on the trail. Then you also have your start switch, kill switch right here. So we're gonna start it up right now. No problem. Fairly quiet unit, you know, sounds nice. You've got your winch down here, hazard warning lights, which again, you never see on an ATV, so very automotive-like, and you got the horn as well. So kind of cool to have. Over here, same dash as I had on the AT6, which is, well, similar dash, I should say. A little hard to show on camera here, but you've got your temperature gauge, you've got your fuel gauge. It is very, very cold here today, I will say that. RPM, around 1500 RPM is where it's sitting at right now. You got a lot of things you can sort of switch in there. But again, you also have the app control. Fairly easy to read. It is a little bit faded as I go up. The flickering that you see on your camera does not happen in real life. It's just happening on the screen, the way the camera interacts. This is moving around a little bit here, vibrating a little bit, but you can see you've got your four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive. You've got your lockers in there, which is kind of nice, and again, the throttle down there. So kind of nice unit. You've got a little bit of a storage piece in there, two 12-volt ports. Actually, I think one is a USB, yes. USB there, 12-volt there. We'll go full wide angle here. Showing you the front racks here. The racks on this thing are actually capable of holding, I believe the rear rack, I'm not even sure which one, but like 200 pounds plus, which is quite a bit on the racks. Now it doesn't specify, again, some of the specs doesn't specify front or rear. I would assume that would be on the rear because that's a lot of weight on the front. I did mention the power steering has 3 settings, so that is adjustable through that app there. And as we come around the back here, I'll show you still have some attachment points here. I've got my iPad here for some of the specs that I need. But you've got your attachment points here. I believe this could fit in a backrest. There is a 2-passenger version of this, which can have a backrest. I think they share the rack, so that's why that's there. Coming down here, one thing that's really cool about Segway stuff, let's turn it off for a second so we can hear ourselves next to the exhaust here. You've got a center brake light there. The AT6 had the side brake lights, but there's your signals out there. Coming down here, you have a hitch. The hitch comes with this receiver and doesn't have the ball on it. You put your own ball on there, but you do have a 6 or 7 pin trailer connector. So if you're moving your trailer from your vehicle to tow it with this, you can do that, and this thing tows 1,300 pounds, or if you look at the website, sometimes it says 1,300 pounds plus. I don't know what 1,300 pounds plus means. I've never seen that as a tow rating. So interesting website, but cool stuff. So let's talk about who this is for. So who is this for? Well, Segway is going to push the industry. Whether you want to buy a Segway or whether you want to buy something else, they absolutely offer a whole lot of features for not a whole lot of price. So if you're looking for something that's lightweight, that you can really kind of maneuver with your body, that has good power, has great capability, has a whole lot of features and tech, including that app that works better than most of your car apps, if you even have a car app, this thing is pretty cool. I really like the features. It's nice and quiet, it's fairly smooth, and I say nice and quiet, it's not like meant to be a huge, you know, thundering type unit. It's a sort of economy, mid-size type unit, but it really is something that has a lot of features, whether it's got 39 or 38 horsepower, whether it goes to 95 or 100 kilometers an hour. You know, it is just a really interesting unit. I'm kind of a fan of what it is, and the compact size works. A couple little ergonomic quirks for me, just the way I sit as a 6-footer on there. This gear shift can be in my way. Other than that, ergonomically, I will say the seat is very comfortable, and certainly the capability is there. So there you go. If you're looking for something that's capable, that's interesting, this is my first look at this unit. If you want to know more, by all means, let me know the kinds of things you want to know about this, because I still have a lot to learn. It's freezing cold out here, so we're keeping these nice and tight today. But we're going to come back to these units again and again to give you more information. So if you made it this far, do me a favor. We review ATVs all the time on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, leave a nice positive comment, and we'll talk to you in the next one.